My name is Dr. Dan Bowers and I'm the course leader for the Single Honours Psychology degree at the University of South Wales. So I'm just going to give you some tips about how you could apply for the psychology degree at the University of South Wales and things that are likely to help your application and give you a better shot of getting a place here. So one of the things you might want to think about is trying to find out a little bit more about the different areas of psychology. Obviously psychology is a very big and broad topic and we're interested in how individuals behave when other people are around in social psychology, but also how the brain functions, how our biology impacts on how we think and feel and act. And we have a number of other kind of intervention-based bits of psychology that are also really useful to know. So maybe do some research on trying to find out the different bits of psychology, and maybe you'll find the thing that really speaks to you. You might want to go and have a read of a few psychology textbooks. You might already be doing A-level psychology, in which case you'd have some knowledge anyway. But don't be afraid to cast the net a bit further than that. So if you see something on TV that's around psychology, then great, and engage with that stuff. You could check out something like the BPS website, which will have some really good information about the different sections of psychology. And it'll also give you some really good information around things like ethics. If you're interested, that's certainly something that we'll be teaching you a lot about in your first and second years. We're, as psychologists, interested in people, and we want to get students who are interested in understanding how people think and feel and act, and how the world impacts on that. So if you're someone who's interested in those kind of ideas, then that would be something that I would try and build into your personal statement. So explain how you're interested in the world. Why are you interested in that? I think it's also something that it would also be useful for you to consider showing us that you're a critical thinker, that you're not someone who just takes any old piece of evidence and says, well, that must be the truth of it. As psychologists, we have a number of different ways in which we can try and investigate the world, and we can try and understand things, and we have a number of different methods that we use to try and do that. Some of those are directly contradictory, some of those are very similar but have minute differences, and we spend our days really arguing about the differences between those different methods and which one is the best one for understanding and explaining a certain theory or something that is kind of going on in the real world. So I think one of the things that would be a really good quality for you to bring to us would be someone, if you can show us that you're someone who's a critical thinker, who's able to kind of think outside the box. So one of the things that I wouldn't worry about if you were going to apply to us is having any anxiety around statistics and research methods. So often one of the things that psychology students really worry about is, will I be able to keep up with the maths side of things? One of the things I would say to you is that it's not something to be worried or anxious about because we teach you from very first principles. We don't really expect you to have any specific knowledge of what we're going to do. And often what stats really entails in psychology is working with specific statistics packages on the computer, so things like that resemble Microsoft Excel, for example. So if you can kind of learn how to structure a file based on an experiment, then really you'll be fine. We can get into the more advanced stuff as you get on, but obviously that'll be once you've developed a bit of knowledge and understanding. So I think if you were thinking about applying to us, and one of the things that might be stopping you coming to psychology is, well, I'm a bit worried about the statistics, then I think you'd definitely be very well supported here.